Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is remove the water pump impeller shaft. To take that off, I got to remove a circlip over here. I can get these pliers on there properly. This should just slide out of here. There's my water pump impeller on its shaft. Now there's a seal replaced on this side. Pop this guy out of there. So I should be able to pry this seal out with it's just a small chisel, but just use a screwdriver. So there's a spring-loaded portion of the seal that I pulled out of there, and then this other portion I'll pull out with some pliers. Maybe. Okay, this mechanical seal was in there pretty good. I ended up taking the screwdriver and hammer and going around the lip of it and banging it in, and I had to mangle it pretty good before it would pry out of there. I scuffed up the edges of my seat a little bit, but not too bad. I think I should be able to clean it up okay. I think as long as this inside surface is good, I'll be good to go. You can just go after this with some emery cloth and clean it up. I think I'll leave the bearings. I think the bearings are okay in there. I'll probably leave all the bearings unless they feel bad. I'm going to take the oil pump sprocket and the bouncer shaft off. So to do that, I got to take this little circlip off the oil pump sprocket. Now this assembly should just slide out of here. Same time. So my balancer shaft, oil pump sprocket, and its chain. Now I'm going to take off the oil pump body. Give it a little tug on that shaft, and this whole assembly pops out of there. And inside we got the oil pump. So I got my pump shaft. There's a little pin that connects that to the inner rotor. That's this little guy. Mine happens to be a little bit rusty from sitting. And then we have the outer rotor, which is this guy, and that sits in the pump body. And the pump body has an O-ring right here. And I'll have to check all the tolerances between those pieces and clean that stuff up. Should also point out that there's a little dowel pin right in here for the pump body. Can't grab it with these things on. Okay, I'm going to remove this left side oil pipe. Pull out, and then there's an O-ring on either other side. There and there. Now I can take this relief valve off. This relief valve seems to be a 17mm socket. And the manual says to check the relief valve to test to see if the spring moves, or the ball moves back into its seat when you compress it. I should be using something softer than this coat hanger, but it seems to work. It ought to work. So that's good. I don't know if this is necessary, but I'm going to remove this oil passage cover on the left hand side. Had to get a little bit of leverage to avoid stripping out these Phillip head screws. Now I got that. I should pop off here with a little bit of persuasion, held on by a seal. There's the passage cover and its gasket. Oh, that didn't come off in one go. I'm gonna remove the shift drum bearing retainer. Get this retainer and bolts out of there. Should be able to tap this guy out of here if I have this cam lined up properly. Oops. So there we got the shift cam, bearing, and drum. I'm going to take off the shift mechanism arm nut. Oops. That nut pulled out of there. This shift mechanism arm can slide out the other side. And then if I remove the circlips on this shaft, I can pull the rest of the mechanism out the other side. Now those circlips are off there. This whole mechanism can slide out of here. Now I have the older model with the weak shaft, tie rod shaft, so I'll be replacing this shaft with a heavier duty version in my rebuild. And that's it for the cases.